channel. I'm back this week with another video for you guys, but this week it's gonna be another first impressions, and today we're gonna be doing a battle of the blenders. So pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna battle these two bad boys out. This is my original beauty blender. This is my favorite sponge in the world. I love this so much. So I'm gonna be doing the right side of my face with the sponge, and I'm gonna be doing the left side with this Danielle Creations Fusion Blending Sponge. But the big thing about these two is that this is $20. This is $2.97. So we're gonna test out, are these two dupes? Because if they're dupes, this is a steal. Before we get further on in this video, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you do. And if you want to see how these two sponges work out, if they're dupes, if they're worth their price, everything about the Danielle Creations sponge battling the beauty blender, then please keep on watching. So first, I just want to give you guys some background information on this sponge. So I found this at Nordstrom Rack for $2.97. That is such a steal. But now I was just looking this up online, and I didn't really find a website that you can directly buy this from if it works out. But I did find the website of the brand of Danielle Creations, and I'm just gonna read the description for you guys. It just says that Danielle Creations was founded over 30 years ago, and during that time we have established ourselves as the UK market leader in cosmetic bags and beauty accessories. Then it goes over their beauty accessories or their bags, because apparently they're more of a fashion brand and they make mirrors. So that's probably why they don't even have this on their website, but they do sell it in stores at Nordstrom Rack. But then it goes on to say that underpinning everything we do is our commitment to ensuring that everything we provide is of high quality at a competitive price, supported with great service. So we are about to find out if this is actually a steal, if their claims are true. And just the back of this says that you can blend away to a flawless finish, introducing this new fusion blending sponge that is designed to fuse liquid and cream foundations together for a fresh, natural look. This is supposed to provide a natural look, which kind of scares me because it might eat a lot of the product. But we're about to test that out. Then it says that this shape offers optimal grip, position with ease of use. So, I mean, it's the same shape of the beauty blender, so that's not very innovative. And then it says for the ultimate flawless finish, you have to dampen the sponge until it swells up and then firmly squeeze out any excess water. Second, you need to apply the product to the sponge in a patting motion. Gently apply product to face, paying particular attention to the forehead, cheeks, and neck. So pretty much just like the beauty blender. And then to clean the sponge, you just have to hand wash with warm water and air dry. I'm just gonna get this out of here. I had already opened this and I already got it wet. So it's dampened. It's around the same size as the beauty blender. It's just my beauty blender is used, so that is why it's light pink, not this cute pink color. And the cute thing about these sponges is that you can actually pick your color. They have so many colors, but I couldn't find them online, so I can't really show you. But right now, let's just get to doing our makeup and see, are these really dupes? Did we just find a $2 dupe for a $20 beauty blender? We're about to find out. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna pull back our hair because we don't want our hair getting on the way of those little cute sponges. And as you can see, guys, I already have my eyes done, but if you're interested on how I do my eye makeup, I do have a playlist with a lot of tutorials that you can just click up here and you can just go check them out if you need some inspiration. But right now, I'm going to start by priming my face, and I'm going to be using my Smashbox Photofinish Foundation Primer in Luminizing. I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the back of my hand, and I'm going to do the right side of my face with my beauty blender as I normally do. And I'm just applying my primer. And then I'm going to do the left side with my Danielle Creations sponge. Now I'm just going to grab the primer on the sponge. I'm not really looking for any major difference right now since, I mean, we're just applying the primer. But I am noticing just with the primer that it is applying a lot more of the product. It's not really soaking into the sponge, which is kind of peculiar because it said that it was supposed to provide a natural look. So now, I didn't notice any difference with primer, but now it's going to be the big test, foundation. For foundation, I'm going to be using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in the shade Y245, and I'm going to do the left side of my face first because I am really excited to try this out. So I'm just going to put one pump of this here because the box said they needed to put the product in the sponge. So I'm just going to dot this around my face. Like that. And now I'm just going to blend this out. Just right off the bat, this feels really rough on the skin. It's kind of hard, which is very unlike the Beauty Blender. So it did offer a lot of coverage, but I did find that it soaked up a lot of my product. It looks nice. I mean, it doesn't look bad at all. It wasn't really hard to blend. I blended it really nicely. It looks really smooth. It looks really nice. And this is the usual amount of coverage I get from this foundation. It is not an extreme coverage foundation, so I'm not mad at it at all. Now let's do the same thing on this side. Same foundation and everything. Again, this is just my regular Beauty Blender. Okay, so you guys already know I absolutely love my Beauty Blender, but I have to say my face looks the same, like exactly the same. And these sponges don't feel the same at all. This one's way fluffier and it's just more smooth, and this one's kind of tough and a little harder, but it is still really easy to blend with this. So far they're not exact dupes, but they're both doing the same job. And I mean, this is like 10% of the price, so we're gonna go in with concealer and then we're gonna judge this. For concealer, I'm gonna be using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in shade 20. And now I'm just gonna blend it in with this sponge. I'm gonna do the forehead and everything with this sponge. And then I'm gonna do the under eye with my Beauty Blender. Right off the bat, on my forehead, I'm noticing that it's not soaking up much of the product at all. It didn't really soak it up like it did with the foundation, which is really nice. I don't know about you guys, but that blended out pretty nicely. I'm not mad at it at all. Guys, I'm really not mad about this sponge. It is blending out everything really nicely. It is not soaking up my product. It looks pretty flawless, and the foundation looks just like the Beauty Blender side. So now I am gonna go in with the Beauty Blender and I'm gonna blend the under eye, and then I'm gonna do the under eye with the other sponge, and I'm gonna see if there's a difference. But for now, I am really loving it. It is not an exact dupe of the Beauty Blender because it is a little rougher. It feels a little harder, but the application of the makeup, it is really nice. So that is the Beauty Blender side. Now let's try this out. Okay, so I feel like for the concealer, it did soak up a lot of the product because as you can tell, I have a lot more coverage from the concealer on the Beauty Blender side as opposed to the Danielle Creations sponge side. I feel like it soaked up a lot of my concealer, which I don't really appreciate because I need all the coverage I can get for my dark circles. So I'm not really loving this for concealer. For foundation, it was really nice. And for the concealer around the face, it was nice. But for the concealer under the eyes, it's just not really working for me. So I'm just going to see what it does to this side. Yeah, I don't really like this for concealer. It's like soaking up all the product that I placed, and that's just gonna make you waste more product, which I don't appreciate. So for foundation, this is a really nice sponge, and for the concealer on the face, but for your under eye concealer, I wouldn't really recommend this. Now, I'm not going to do cream contour with the sponges because after all, I don't really blend my cream contours with a sponge. I always use a dual fiber brush because I find that it disperses the product more evenly and it blends it better than a beauty blender. So I'm not going to be trying that out, but I'm going to be baking with my sponge because I always bake my under eye with a sponge. I find that the powder melts into the skin beautifully, so that's what I'm going to do with these guys. And I'm just gonna bake the under eye of my left side with the Danielle Creation sponge. Yeah, I really like how this is baking my face because it is pretty much just placing the product on top of my skin, kind of making it sink in, and it's dispersing it really evenly. However, I feel like that's what every sponge does with baking because you're not really blending anything out, you're just placing on powder. So now let's do the beauty blender side. Set the rest of my face with the excess. Okay. So that is pretty much all I do with my sponges. I just do foundation, concealer, baking. I don't really do cream contour or any of that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to kick off my bake and I'm going to do my under eye makeup because I already have the top of my eyes done, as I already said before. But I'm going to do that and I will be right back to apply some liquid highlighter with this sponge and then we'll see our final thoughts. So the last thing I really like to do with my beauty blender is to do a little tiny bit of cream highlight. And today I'm going to be using my NYX Born to Glow Liquid Illuminator. It's like a rose gold one. I love these so much. So I'm just gonna grab a tiny little amount on this. I already did my blush and my contour and my bronzer. So this is not really blending it out as nicely as I would like it to. Yeah, so I'm not really loving that sponge for cream highlight either, because since it doesn't really pick up much of the excess product, I felt like it was just kind of tugging at my skin and it wasn't really blending out the cream highlight as well as my beauty blender does. So now, since we're at it, let's just add the topper. This is Champagne Pop by Becca. And this is my Real Techniques blending brush. And I always add a powder highlighter on top of my cream. As you can tell, that cream just makes your highlighter pop so much more. So now I'm just going to give you guys a closer look at my foundation from up close so that you can see if there are any differences. But I really don't think that there are any big differences with my foundation from the left side of my face with my fusion sponge and the right side of my face with my beauty blender. Okay guys, so now all my foundation is done, all my makeup is finished, and I'm just gonna give you my final thoughts on these two sponges and if they are dupes or are they not. So this Fusion foundation sponge is definitely a good foundation sponge. It is $2.97, which is amazing. That's an amazing price point if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend $20 on a beauty blender. I mean, $20 on a sponge. That's crazy to me. But this is actually a really good sponge. I do recommend it. It is not really a beauty blender dupe. It is a little more dense. It does apply the foundation equally the same, the primer equally the same. It blends the concealer that you put on your face really nicely. It bakes nicely. The only things I didn't like this for was to blend out my concealer because I feel like it took away most of the coverage. It just took away too much product, but you can just fix that by adding a little bit more concealer if you're gonna use the sponge. And it didn't really apply my liquid highlighter nicely, just kind of left it there. It didn't really blend it out, but overall you don't really need to cream highlight. You can just use a powder highlighter if you want to, or you can do it under your foundation and it wouldn't even be a problem. And the concealer, it didn't really look bad at all. It did blend it out. It just took a little bit of the coverage, which is not really a big problem if you just want to add a little more, since you are saving a lot of money with the sponge. So my final verdict is this is a really good sponge. I do recommend it. It is a Nordstrom rack for $2.97, but it is not an exact dupe of the beauty blender. The shape is the same, so that is really nice. It does blend out the product really nicely, but it is not exactly the same. But it is actually really nice, so I do recommend it. And the best thing, the price point is amazing. So overall, that is it for this video on the battle of the blenders. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope that you can just go check it out. That sponge was actually really nice. I'm gonna try to see if I can find somewhere you can buy it and leave it in the description box below, because it was actually a really nice sponge for only 10% of the price of the beauty blender, which is such a steal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you guys hit the like button and subscribe to my channel before you leave if you want to, because I will have my giveaway when I get to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye. Mwah.